Gordon, can you tell us how popular now the gong training in Europe, in US, and why it's so popular, more popular than pre-pandemic?
It's extraordinary, Yiling.
Yeah. Let's see 2022.
The numbers of students who've been attending training, certainly amongst my colleagues in the gong teaching communities in England and Europe and America.
Yeah.
Amazing numbers. I mean, extraordinarily large. Anything between...
Can you give us some
3,
idea?
4, 5, 60 people. 60 people. Up to 60. I've seen more than 60, actually.
In one group.
In one
training.
Now, there will not necessarily be just one teacher. It may be that there's 2 or 3 teaching assistants to assist them.
Yeah.
And traditionally, anyway, in gong training, you'll often have 2 people. Maybe a senior teacher and then...
I think 60 is more than double than pre-pandemic. Right, more than double.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's noticeably increased. Why? Why is it increased? Well, I think one of the reasons is sort of simple, really, which is that people were unable to go to trainings for a couple of years at least.
A couple of years. Yeah.
And it meant that there was this sort of unmet demand.
Yeah.
Which meant that. Or people had actually booked to go to a training in 1 year.
Yeah, but they
couldn't go, and they were sort of
postponed.
Put on to the next year, and then the next year's intake of people were added to that. So yes, I think that's one of the major reasons.
Yeah.
I think there's other ones. I think another one is that.
Another one.
Why do people want to go to training? Because they've consumed gong, if you like, gong baths. As a consumer, they've gone to gong baths and been entranced by the sounds and thought, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And actually, we always say that it's a good thing and a bad thing, but it's kind of a low barrier to entry playing the gong in the sense that you can and I think people are aware of this when they're going to a training, is that if they've learned the basic techniques and learned something about the sort of relationship that they have to build up with a gong, they can make nice sounds out of it quite easily, compared to somebody who's playing a violin and they've been playing for 2 years and it still sounds like a screechy racket. The technique that you need to get a nice sound out of a gong is not so difficult compared to perhaps a violin. That doesn't mean to say...
I never played violin, any instruments.
That doesn't mean to say that it's easy to master the gong, but that's another story. So the low barrier to entry, people liking going to gong baths and saying, I want to do this. And then there's one more, there's one more, I think, a couple more. Another one is, I think, yoga practitioners and practitioners in the mind, body, spirit community who want to expand their expertise, basically. And they'd start. I mean, I found this with some of my own students who come particularly from a yoga background, have wanted to do this, and maybe they started by working with me with yoga plus gong and thinking, and I'm going, well, you can do this too, or you can do simply, do simple, get a gong.
Many of our students, yoga teachers, they already got a gong or several gongs.
You know,
to play.
Gongs work great with many of these practices. We've had Reiki training because Yiling trains Reiki students, and that it works very well with that. It works great with yoga and meditation and many other practices. So that's one. And then finally, there's this sort of double-edged one, which I feel a little bit uncomfortable with, which was never an issue when I started out years and years ago, which is that I think that some students going to gong training are thinking, this is a very popular activity now, going to gong bars. And they start counting
in US and in Europe,
how much
popular.
people are paying admission to a gong. And it's become, instead of when I started, we kind of embraced it as a vocational activity. People are actually going into it thinking, I can make good money out of this. And it's sort of gong playing as a business. I've seen courses on gong playing as a business. So they're not just teaching you how to play the gong, they're teaching you how to set up a gong playing business, which I can see the point of it on one, because you do have to do marketing and publicity and venue hire and so on and so forth, and taxes and but at the same time, that mercenary element, I think you've really got to be careful not to unbalance your motivation. Actually,
okay, that's your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6.
How many? How many was that?
I will contribute one thing. I can feel that is pandemic finally is finished, and if I can say that. And many people during pandemic, they got many, I don't want to say it's trouble or whatever. They really feel that they want to have something can heal, can make themselves feel better. So at home they can do some maybe singing bowl or striking the gong, or so the post-pandemic people like to start something new, and especially body, mind, spirit is really important during pandemic. Otherwise, many people like depression or divorce. Or
so it's like a self-therapy. That's what you're saying. I can play the gong or the singing bowl at home, just for myself, or maybe just my family, and it's therapeutic for me and my immediate intimate family group, and maybe my closest friends, and really that's as far as I want to go.
That can support me, so I really want to learn more.
I think that's actually kind of really important,
because during pandemic, I think many people realize that body, mind, spirit balance is very important, and learning something only go, maybe singing bowl, or maybe yoga can really benefit ourselves or support families or friends.
Absolutely.
So that's why I realize many people, I can say post-pandemic, more and more people will come to body, mind, spirit field.
Perhaps that's one of the reasons why people have been. So it's not that the point in certainly my experience in England and America and Europe is that the reason why people are coming to training, and also reflected by the numbers of people who are going to gong bars, maybe has quite a lot to do with what you've just been talking about, actually, Eileen.
So if you are fancy to come join us new training in the new year, you can check the QR code. We have a totally re-innovate new training content for you to do self-healing or do the best to the publics. So check the QR code here.
We will be concentrating on the vocational side of this rather than necessarily trying to make loads of money, But there again, there's two sides to all this, and I think there is a balance to be made. There's a balance to be made.
Many people they can do both.
Exactly so. Exactly.
So welcome to join us. We see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye.